It has been said that a moment's insight is sometimes worth a life's experience. In this episode, Graham and I continue our discussion at a Bundaberg Cafe, where Graham begins to piece together insights gained from the past week.
Yeah, Mitty the cat had this, as you can imagine, there's a lot of wildlife up at the farm, and one of the more friendly of the animals that inhabits the Promisland is the mouse. Mind you, they got razor sharp teeth and would chew through your toe without any problem, but never mind.
Well,
but anyway,
a bunch of cats that
Mitty,
sort out the mouse.
Mitty the cat was Mitty's job was to catch mice. So to celebrate a catch, Mitty would come into the kitchen and flick the mouse in the air. And as the mouse hit the ground, Mitty would grab it, flick it in the air. And anyway, so this particular night, Mitty flicks the mouse in the air. It doesn't come down. And then he's looking this way and looking up there, looking accusingly at me, then looking accusingly at Rob, and saying, I know I threw it up. I hadn't seen it come down. I know mice don't fly. Where's my mouse? Now I looked over and here was the tail hanging out of Rob's cup of tea.
Rob's cup of tea.
The tail.
The tail.
The tail. Just the tail, that's all I could see. The mouse had landed in Rob's cup of tea. And Rob just looks at it and goes, oh. Hey, man. But yeah, look, I mean, it must be just a phenomenon that happens to people out there.
That was like the brown snake.
No.
You remember the brown snake?
This is the scorpion story. I mean, the guy up there, we go cutting wood because, you know, there's no easy way to have a hot shower. You've got to chop the wood. And maybe now he's a little bit more scientific, but in those days we used to chop the wood to light the donkey so we could have a hot shower. On the way to spiritual enlightenment.
Suffering,
enlightenment, suffering.
Okay.
I was told I had to go down with Alistair, Bosco was his name, and
that means
cut
Donnie
wood.
has been somewhere. The Yeti has. So that's where the Holy Grail exists.
The suffering.
Now, how long has the Yeti been suffering?
How old is the Yeti? No one really seems to know. No one knows how old the Yeti is. If you ask...
That's because it's been endless.
If you ask anyone up there...
The Yeti doesn't even acknowledge suffering.
That is true.
Has the Yeti ever said that he doesn't like this, or he's suffering, or he's...
No, not at all.
But you spent 4 years, and he has spent an eternity.
Like the origin of the Promised Land, no one seems to know how it arrived at the Promised Land. The Yeti, no one knows how old the Yeti is. There are estimates, but the pain and suffering of all that enlightenment.
But he is beyond that, beyond the pain.
He is.
So he has never been actually guarding the Grail. He is the Grail.
He is the Grail. Which would make sense if he is the pinnacle of suffering.
That means you have to take him home with you. But then again,
I would rather do take the Yeti home. Where's my knife?
so anyway, back to the story. What was the story was?
So the story goes on from the mouse story. So anyway, we cut this wood and we throw it in the back of this ute, and it had the tray. And we get there and we're unloading it. And all of a sudden I start seeing these things moving around in the bottom of the tray. It's a Toyota, a ute thing. And we're chugging it, and all of a sudden I realised there's these scorpions. I like this stinger, and I got their fangs like this, and I got the stinger going. And I'm like, what do? I've never seen scorpions like this up so close and so dangerous. So Alistair, he looks over and goes, oh, scorpions. Puts his hand in, grabs the scorpion, and flicks it out. Grabs the other one, flicks it out, grabs the third one, throws it out. Can you imagine what was going through my mind? Can you imagine what I was thinking? Oh my God. So I say it to Alistair, which would at the time seem a legitimate question. Have you ever been stung? Alistair only goes, oh yeah, one had a go at me, but I don't think he got me real good. Left a lot of fluid on my skin. Oh, stung like hell though. But that was it.
But don't you see the beauty in that? Don't you see the beauty in that? That is why you have not cried at that. Because if you were able
to do that, I would be spiritually enlightened. Would. Why did the scorpion not bite him that day?
Because they are both one.
They are both one. They're like the scorpion king, you know. Like this whole thing about scorpions in Egypt is all true. It's true.
That's like Rob and the brown snake.
Rob and the brown snake, they are of one.
Why was Rob not concerned about the brown snake?
If you look at everything that is used as a symbol of you know, evil or whatever throughout, they exist on the Promisland, and they are at one with the people that live there.
The scorpion and the snake.
The spider, the scorpion, the snake. These are all, you know, deeply hated and feared. But on the Promisland, they bow as one. Total spiritual enlightenment.
So what was the story with Mum and the snake and Rob? She was where was she? She was.
Oh well, Mum, you know, there's like the downstairs area there in the barracks at the farm. Mum was there this day sitting in this chair down there, and anyway, Rob came by. He noticed that a brown snake, one of the most deadliest venomous things on the planet, had climbed in and was in a nice sort of little curl underneath Mum's chair.
Had climbed into the house?
Come in through the louvers.
Come in through the louvers?
Yes, the louver.
The louver.
Not the louver. This is the...
So the wildlife could just crawl into the house?
Who knew? So, anyway, Rob goes, Mum, don't put your feet down. Right? And Mum goes, oh, why is that, love? Oh, there's a brown snake under your chair. Oh, is there? Yeah, Mum, look, don't move. Okay, alright. What is that about? Where is the uncontrolled panic?
Well, what did Rob do with the snake?
He came up, he grabbed a broom handle or the broom, and he just, you know, and the snake just turned around, looked at him, and
went outside.
Went outside. This is one of the most vicious, deadliest things you could ever possibly imagine. You know, like you're 40 minutes from the nearest anti-venom. This thing will kill you in 20. and here they are, so completely unmoved, so remotely uninterested in the impending doom that faces them.
But maybe it's not about their impending doom.
Maybe that's spiritually enlightened. The snake
Exactly.
and Robert and Mom were as one.
Were as one.
They existed in this plane that we can only imagine exists, but they actually exist there. Extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary.